Good evening, everyone. We are 15 minutes from kickoff. My name is Rob Reitz. I am principal at Edgewood Middle School, bringing you Mounds View Mustang football live for the third consecutive year. We are in Week 5 of the Minnesota State High School League 6A season. Joining me tonight is Justin Adams, running the camera and providing color commentary. Joining us after the first half concludes will be Taylor Swanson, Dean at Chippewa Middle School. Excited to bring you Mustang football live tonight from Mounds View High School. It is homecoming, and the Mustangs host the Ponies. To talk a little bit about this Stillwater Pony team, we'll kick it to James Adams.
I was just about to say, you called me Justin twice.
Sorry, man.
We're 4 games into the season. You don't know my name. How depressing. But yeah, Stillwater is a team that has a lot of struggles the last 2 years. They were 2-7 last year. They have one of the worst defenses in the country during their 1-4 start, allowing about 27 points a game. I'm looking at a team that Mounds View shouldn't have a tough time beating, especially because this is a way less talented team relative to Woodbury and Minnetonka, teams we've already beaten. I expect Mounds View to come in and win, but you can't underestimate your competition. You got to go and win with a bang, especially in this homecoming night. But I expect Mounds View to attack them in the middle as they're a really small football team, and then they allow a lot of points. So I expect Mounds View to capitalize on their opportunities.
So 2 very different teams. Mounds View coming in at 4-0, Stillwater 1-3. Their only victory against Roseville, who is an 0-4 team. But the stats are very much the same between these 2 squads. Talk a little bit, James, about Stillwater's stats and their leaders in passing, rushing, and receiving.
It's interesting because they're not necessarily an awful offense. They score about 17 points a game this year. They've been really inconsistent, though. They've had games where they'll score nothing and games they'll score in the 20s. But I think the reason why the statistics are so similar, Mounds View Cole Stenstrom, he only has like 20 more passing yards than Stillwater's quarterback. But I think a big part of that is because Mounds View's defense has been so suffocating this year, especially with the turnovers, that Mounds View started on short field position many drives this year. So I don't think the stats show the whole story, but it's really interesting. It just says a lot about the Mounds View defense, I believe.
So Cole Stenstrom, the starting quarterback for the Mustangs, as you all know, 489 passing yards on the season. Ranks, mid-tier for 6A football. You've got Brian Tebbett leading the Mounds View Mustangs in rushing yards, 268 yards coming into the game. And again, we're 4 games into the season. Colin Hoyte and Jack Raber are your 2 leading wide receivers for the Mustangs, 181 yards on the season for Hoyte and 172 yards on the season for Jack Raber. Mason Dean not far behind. He had a big game last week against Minnetonka Skippers. Dean has 105 receiving yards on the season. Very similar to Stillwater. Casey Vensky is their starting quarterback, 468 yards coming into the season again. As James mentioned, about 125 passing yards a game. Jake Day is a name that you'll hear a lot for Stillwater rushing the football. He's got 310 yards. The second running back for Stillwater, a distant second, only 35 yards on the season. So Jake Day really does carry the load for the Ponies. And then at receiver, a couple different names you'll hear tonight. Tyler Thurston has 90 yards and Nick Schneider 65 yards. So they'll spread the ball out a little bit, will Stillwater. But we do expect that this Mustang defense will have a heck of an evening. James, we've known for a long time this Mustang defense was going to swarm the line of scrimmage and make a lot of tackles for loss. Who on this defense do you expect a big game from tonight?
I expect a really big game from George Cooper. I think he's, as a linebacker this year, we haven't really talked much about him, but he's a guy I know personally loves just to attack the line of scrimmage, and I expect him just to go after the quarterback. He's also bigger than most of these linemen. Stillwater's not a really big football team. I think that I honestly can see a lot of guys, especially in the secondary, have great games. But I'm looking at George Cooper and expecting a pretty decent game tonight.
Well, I am excited to see a little bit more tonight from A.J. Hunt, senior number 52. He's just been a complete stud along that defensive line for Mounds View. They've really dominated up front defensively, but they've done a great job at the linebacker position as well. Cole Sandahl, outside linebacker. Drew Lindgren, he's had some really nice turnovers this season. Nate Rewald, we've said his name a lot, an inside linebacker. And, of course, Brendan Dunnigan had a big game last week against Minnetonka. I think the heart of this defense, though, is the defensive backfield. We get Mateo Cisneros back tonight. He's had a hamstring issue. It's actually bothered him since last spring playing baseball. And so he was out last week. I heard from coaches over this week that had last week against Minnetonka been a playoff game, Mateo Cisneros would have played. So that gives you a little bit of insight into how injured he actually is. Even tonight, if the Mustangs get up big, it is likely that we'll see Farm come back in. He did replace Cisneros very admirably last week against Minnetonka. But the other defensive players in that backfield, Ben Kettlehut, a complete stud. He's shown a lot this season. His ability to go up and get the ball and catch it, intercept it at its highest point is something we've seen for the last couple of years. Tommy Waltz had a really good game last week as well against Minnetonka. He also is a senior. And of course, Jake Radaba is our other cornerback, and he returns kicks for the Mustangs as well. So that really is your starting defense for Mounds View. James, do you want to go over our starters on offense?
Of course. So at left tackle, we're going to have Elliot Lee, number 74. At left guard, we're going to have Noah, and then at center, we're going to have Bill Ketela, number 70. Right guard, Gordy Shears, Brock Nelson at right tackle, Jalen Lomax at tight end, Colin Hoyota at wide receiver, number 4. Jack Raber is a wide receiver, Mason Dean as well. Brian Tevitt at running back, and Cole Stenstrom at quarterback. So yeah, we're gonna have a really fun game to watch on offense tonight.
A lot of talent on this offense. Colin Hoytia is a big target. You could see last week against Minnetonka, they threw him a fade route. They like to go deep to him. Jack Raber is really their stud speedster down the field. He can really take the top off. We've mentioned this many times, but this kid was a state participant in what I consider to be the most athletic event of the 18 they run at the State High School League meet, that being the triple jump. It just shows the kind of explosiveness that an athlete has if you can compete with the very best triple jumpers in the state of Minnesota. Mason Dean is also a very talented wide receiver. Again, he caught a huge touchdown pass against the Skippers last week that obviously was a game changer for Mounds View. They were down quite a bit after a muffed punt. They were able to punch it into the end zone on that slant pattern from Mason Dean. And then a 96-yard drive brought Mounds View all the way down to the 3-yard line, and they were able to kick a field goal to win that game on the last seconds for Minnetonka. We're going to break briefly here for the national anthem. We'll be back with you in a quick second.
Hey Rob, I also wanted to talk to you about how I think our potential on offense isn't even tapped yet, because the first few games of the season, our talent, especially at the wide receiving spots, hasn't been necessarily utilized. There's been a lot of missed throws, a lot of miscommunication, and I expect that to get better throughout the season. Like most teams, early in the season it gets a little sloppy. I think it gets picked up as the year goes on, so expect a lot more big plays. A couple weeks ago, we had a couple of opportunities, last week actually, where we'd have it like where receivers wide open at the 30-yard line and the throw just got missed. Like, I expect a lot of those missed throws to be hit, so there's going to be much more home runs this year relative to the first few games.
Well, there's no question in high school football the teams get better every snap of every game. The truth is, with high school-aged kids, execution is not always going to be at 100%. I do think, given the last couple of years of football, this Mustangs team has not looked as good as they did last week 2 weeks ago against Woodbury. They really dominated on both ends of the football. Did they leave some plays on the field? Absolutely. That's going to happen when young kids are playing this game. But it's been a long time since that level of domination came from both sides of the football, and really special teams as well. They had a touchdown on a punt that Woodbury fumbled and Cisneros took to the house. So really all phases of the game against Woodbury. Last week, Minnetonka is 0-4. We handed them their 4th loss, but that was a really good team running a fairly sophisticated offense, right? Or they had a run-pass option, and it's difficult at the high school level to really contain the quarterback and make your right read on defense to ensure that you're both tackling the run and ensuring that you're covering those receivers as they sneaked out of the backfield. So James will be on double duty tonight, which is always difficult, down one guy to run the camera and provide the color commentary. But we're going to do the best that we can as we introduce the Mustang defense tonight. A.J. Brown starting tonight for the Mustangs. That the first game for him where he gets the starting nod. Be interesting to see his contributions on defense tonight.
I should have mentioned Cole Sandel too. I feel like he's always at the right place at the right time. Every time a big play happened at the line of scrimmage, I always felt like Cole Sandel's name was in there. So he's another guy we can see have another big game all season essentially.
I do feel like the defense is maybe a little bit further along than the offense for this 4-0 Mustang team. I say that mostly because the defense didn't change a whole lot. We have to remember when we consider execution offensively for this Mustang team, this is a brand new offense. This program has run only a wing T offense for well over a decade. And now they're really shaking it up quite a bit. They've got one running back with a number of different wide receiver looks. They frequently have a tight end, that being Lomax. Their original plan at tight end is hurt. Cody Bieber. So never really got a full understanding of what the Bieber injury is, but number 5 has not been on the field since week 2.
They're still trying to find their identity, I feel like, because there's been so much change this year relative to last year, as well as like injuries from key players such as Cody Bieber. But I think another reason why the Mustangs defense is so good is like why the Minnesota Vikings defense is so good. They've been together for such a long time. There hasn't been really many injuries or changes, so they're more accustomed to each other, which also leads to a more dynamic performance on the football field. And that is another huge reason why Mounds has been so dominant in terms of not allowing many big plays and causing so many turnovers, just because they have that chemistry on the field. And that's only going to get better throughout the season for the defense and even for the offense. That's another reason why I think Mounds View is not even at their ceiling yet, just because the offense isn't even there yet and they're still figuring it out chemistry. Yet they're still 4-0. Our schedule gets tougher throughout the season as it gets late, but I am really encouraged by this Mounds View football team.
All right, we are ready to kick off here. Stillwater's going to receive the ball first at halftime. Mounds View's kicking with the wind at their back. This is Raber kicking off. Dunnigan and Rewald are our 2 inside players next to the kicker. Kettlehut is a flyer here on our front end. The kick is up and it's deep. It's going to be fielded in the end zone. Again, what a weapon Jack Raber is kicking off. Teams just don't have an opportunity to return the football. They're going to start 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. We're going to get our first look at the Stillwater offense, led by quarterback Casey Vensky, 6 foot, 180-pound junior. Vensky, again, pretty good numbers here on the season, about 120, 125 passing yards a game. So Stillwater's going to come out in trips to Vensky's right. He's got a single back to his right as well. Very similar look to Mounds View, and this is going to be, looks like a zone play up to about the 22 or 23-yard line.
I always appreciate when you see effort on defense. Just like even on that play, first play of the game, you see the entire defense swarming at the ball. It's just something that makes our defense so special, and that leaves a lot of opportunities to get turnovers, which I expect a lot tonight from a tough Stillwater team. A struggling Stillwater team, actually.
Got motion here. This is going to be a quick play that's almost tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be tackled immediately. Number 4, Luke Cullen, with the reception on what was a wide receiver fast screen. And so very quickly it's going to be 3rd and 7 from the 23-yard line for the Ponies.
I don't expect very many really deep throws throughout this game. Usually teams that struggle don't have a really good home run hitting type of style of play, so expect a lot of short passes, which gets you exactly where you want it if you're Mounds View's defense. So they're going to be playing right right in our league, so I think our defense is going to have another great game tonight.
So Vensky out of shotgun motion here to the field side. 2 trips, is going to go back to a quick hitch route. Looks to be just about at the marker.
Yep, he hit the marker actually.
That'll be a first down for the Ponies. So a really nice conversion there on 3rd and 7. It's going to be 1st and 10 from right about the 30-yard line. Stillwater does have some size at receiver. Max Richardson, 6'3". He looks as big as he's listed. He's often lining up on the Mounds View side of the field. So we've got trips now to Vensky's left. The single receiver to his right. He's going to fake the throw, but hand it off here. That being number 1, Jake Day. Day not real big, 6 foot, 180-pound senior. Again, Brennan Dunnigan with another tackle. He's been active tonight from that linebacker position. Stillwater very similar to Mounds View, gets the play, signal in from the sideline. They're going to go double twins. Motion now to trips to the field side. Vensky's right, and he's going to hand it off again. That again is number 1, Jake Day with the carry. Short gain. Ball is up to the 36-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Ponies.
I expect a lot of quick passes from Stillwater this game. Just with the formation they have, as well as just the fact that they don't have a lot of home run hitters, as I've said, or really dynamic running game. So I expect to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick.
Trips to the right. We got an out route here. Floated pass. Cole Sandval covering. That pass intended for Nick Schlender, a running back.
What a catch by the coach, everybody. That was a dime. Right out of bounds, right to the coach's hand. Perfection for Mounds View, actually.
So Vensky floats that one on 3rd and 4. And the Ponies are going to exchange some players here, get in a punt formation, and Mounds View is going to take over for the first time tonight. And I think you see a little bit of an adjustment based on the injury to Cisneros. This is going to be Ben Kettlehut back to receive the punt. And now they're going to rotate and put Cisneros back. So saying this is why they're doing it. Cisneros is going to field it at about the 35-yard line. He's breaks a tackle. There's a flag down. It did look a little bit like we got pushed in the back.
Hey, Rob, do you think that throw that just happened, do you think that was dictated by the wind, or do you think that was just a little strong, or probably a mix of both a little bit?
I think he just lost a good handle on it. Put way too much air under it.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you consider how important it is to get the ball to the flat as quickly as possible. Really just didn't have much. You know, it was also thrown short of the stick. So, regardless, 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. Good field position. Ball on the 41-yard line. That's Stenstrom out of gun. Tebbett behind him. Mustangs are going to take a look at what the defense is giving them. Right, his end. It's going to looks like they set the line is run a lot, showing fit. Stenstrom ready to go. Ready. Little motion to bump up a bit, but Stenstrom to get up to the 50-yard line. So a nice run there. Stenstrom follows Tebbett, his running back. Not sure if that was intended to be handed off. He just fumbled it a little bit as he caught the snap.
That's actually what I love about Stenstrom so much. Just because even if the play goes wrong, even the fumble, like the fumbles that actually happen quite frequently, it seems like he's always able to make something out of nothing. That's why they won against Minnetonka last week, as a matter of fact. Just with the way he was a, just the way he was able to just make something out of nothing when he was pressured with his arm as well as his legs, just creating extra time for others and even creating some yardage for himself. That's definitely the best aspect to his game.
So another really fast play call and run. Tebbett up the middle gets a first down here. Stenstrom now right back at it in shotgun. He's going to hand it off around the right-hand side of Tebbett. He makes a cut. He's up to the 40-yard line, along the line of scrimmage, makes another missed tackle up to about the 39-yard line. Check that, the 36-yard line. A great run there for Brian Tebbett. And with 8:04 here, just underway in the first quarter, this the first Mounds View drive of the night. They are rolling here, 1st and 10 from the 36. And they are going hurry up. Now trips to Stenstrom's left. Looks like we got a new running back. It's going to be carried up to about the 34-yard line. We'll take a look and see who that is. James Edwards with the running back for the Mustangs. Stenstrom gun, Edwards to his left, one step drop. He's got a wide receiver open. That's going to be Colin Hoyte up to the 20-yard line. Great throw and catch there. Quick conversion to get a first down. And the Mustangs inside the red zone. James, great pass completion there from Stenstrom.
I'm going to say this. If we were able to hit some of those throws really early, this game might be over because that's just the one thing we haven't been able to get going early. Just hitting those early throws.
Tebbett, nice. Enough. First
back to the mound, driving it up.
His zone.
Guys, the
they get here. Sorry. Trips now to Stenstrom's left. He's going to throw a fade out here. That's going to be Mason Dean. Touchdown, Mustangs!
He was throwing it to the ocean right there. There was nobody within yards. Who was that?
Cole Stenstrom, Mason Dean, a 13-yard touchdown strike opens the scoring here tonight. The Mustangs go up 6-0, and rather quickly, they were in a hurry-up offense that entire first drive. The first time this season we've seen them break out that hurry-up offense, and they did so very well. They executed phenomenally, and now we've got this extra point here. Kick is up, and it is good. Mustangs lead the Ponies here early in the first quarter. 5:34 remaining. It is 7-0.
Take what they can give you. There was I don't think we've had a receiver that open, other than that one time that receiver who was, I think it was Jake Rayberg. He was running, he was wide open, the ball just overthrown. I haven't seen a receiver that open since. Now just a much easier throw to complete. Wide open, just take what they can give you. Shoreview or Stillwater, they struggle in the secondary. They're going to allow very many big plays. So I would not be shocked if we have some 80-yard home run for a touchdown in the pass game in this game, just because Stillwater's been giving that all season long.
So Rayber's going to kick off here again for the Mustangs. The wind remains at the backs of Mounds View. We'd fully expect another touchback here from Rayber. Kick is deep, and it's going to be fielded. Actually, it is going to be out of the end zone. That an even better kick from Rayber. And so once again, for the second straight possession, Stillwater is going to start 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line.
As long as we can hold them and keep scoring, I don't see much of a chance for Stillwater to get anything going unless they get a lot of turnovers. teams that struggle do. They need to get turnovers. So I don't expect them to get very many yards when they're in this field position against a defense that's suffocating as Mounds.
He fakes the handoff. He's going to throw a slant route. That again, the tall Max Richardson, 6'3" wide receiver, but not quite tall enough as that sailed over his head. He's 2nd and 10 from the 20. So hopefully our stream is keeping up. We've turned up a little bit the HD. We're broadcasting in 720 tonight with hopes that that helps improve the audio that comes through our HDMI cord. So hopefully our stream is able to keep up and it's not buffering on us. We got a fake handoff here again, and that's tipped dangerously with the way this Mustang defense warms to the football. Nonetheless, incomplete. And just like that, with 5:26 here in the first quarter, it's 3rd and 10 from the 20 for the Ponies.
They're just playing exactly like what Mounds wants them to do, just beat them with their arm. Because our secondary has been great this year, giving up many turnovers. So just keep beating us with your arm. That's what we want.
Aaron Moberg, hope he didn't pull a hamstring there. He was sprinting down the sideline to call a timeout. Really, I think because Mounsley was trying to sub some guys in, Stillwater was in a hurry-up mode. He did not want to give them 5 free yards on 3rd and 10. So the first timeout of the first half for the Mustangs called here to guarantee they've got the right 3rd down personnel on the field. How big has Mason Dean been these last 2 games? He has become a great target among 2 very solid targets. All 3 of these wide receivers, Hoytia, Raber, and Mason Dean, showing up, putting points on the board. That was an exciting first drive for the Mustangs.
I'm just glad that everybody's making a contribution because great teams, like even the NFL, the Patriots, or Alabama College, they can get the most out of everybody in basically every aspect of the offense. So seeing that we have 3 reliable targets as well as an effective running game, that just shows that how good of a football team Mounds really is. That's a big reason why they're 4-0.
All right, Vetsky in shotgun. He's got double twins. Mounsley shows blitz. Deep driving a deep pass, and that's going to be caught, and he is going to be gone. Number 4, Luke Cullen. Touchdown Ponies, 80 yards on 3rd and 10.
I'm absolutely stunned. That doesn't happen very often for either football team in that situation. Mounds just had him still wide receiver wide open, and that hasn't really happened at all this season. So 5 weeks of the season, I guess we could take one of those plays. But just the way he was open, there's nobody within yards of him. I can't really defend our defender that much right there, especially because Stillwater's not known for their home running offense.
So Luke Cullen is also the kicker. He's got to be tired after sprinting 80. Kick is up and good, and we're tied here. A huge and fast change in momentum for the Ponies as they go 80 yards on 1 play.
That just proves one play can change the entire vibe of the game. Just early in the game, we just felt like Mounds, not like sounding really cocky, but I'm sure Mounds felt really good coming into this game. And just like scoring early like that, they just felt really comfortable. And that's just evidence they felt too comfortable because they just punched them right in the mouth that play. You can't be giving up any of those plays if you want to be a really, really, really effective football team, especially in state.
Mounds blitzed 2 players, an outside backer and an inside backer. They ran a stunt, but with a 5-step drop and really perfect timing on the release. Vensky got rid of the football. Great throw right on target. That's about as good as it gets in terms of execution. So nice job, Stillwater. They got themselves right back in the game with a big play.
I have a lot of reasons to bash our defense for that play, but I can also give Stillwater a lot of credit right there. That was a great throw, perfect timing, couldn't be better executed than what happened. But Mounds has to pick up on that. We can't allow any more of those plays this game at all.
So 7-7 with 5:15 remaining here in the first quarter are joined by Taylor Swanson. Middle School and educator extraordinaire, connector of kids. Good to see Mr. Swanson back in the fold, taking over camera duties, allowing myself and James to call the game. It's going to be Twins here to Stenstrom's right. He's going to hand off to Tim. He's got a big hole up the middle. Tim is going to get all the way up to just about the 30-yard line. 5 or 6 yard gain for Tevitt on first down.
I really want to see us retaliate with a home run hitting play because Stillwater gives a lot of those plays up.
Now this is a stretch play. Tevitt presses the line of scrimmage and cuts back. He's up beyond the 35-yard line. That's going to be a first and 10 for the Mustangs as they quickly convert here. Their second drive of the game. First one was all hurry up, resulted in a nice touchdown pass to Mason Dean from 13 yards out. Now we've got Twins to the boundary. We're going to hand it off here again to Tevitt as he presses the line of scrimmage, makes the cut, and he's up to the 40-yard line. So 5 yards at a time, Tevitt is driving this Mustang football right down the field. Second down now as Mason Dean switches sides. Now we've got Lomax doing the same. The tight end moves to the left. Lots of motion here. It's going to be a fake to Raber. I think they're going to have 2 guys in motion at one time. We've got a flag down. Fake to Raber is followed by a Stenstrom run. He gets banged up a little bit at the end of that play. He is down, folks. He's down on one knee. This may not be a great play. Resulted in a penalty and potentially an injury to your starting quarterback. Stenstrom showing his toughness. He is up. And he's getting back to the huddle after a 5-yard illegal motion penalty by the Mustangs. Sets them back to 2nd and 11 from the 34-yard line. So again, Twins to the boundary. Up to the side of Twins is going to be faked. Roll out here from Stenstrom on the 30. Throws it to Raber, complete at about the 47-yard line. That's going to be good for a first down.
I love it. We're hitting these precise throws that we weren't hitting last game. Just off the run, out of the pocket, just an absolute dime. It was similar to that throw that he completed at the last drive last game where we came for the win. That was just another great throw by Cole Stenstrom. He's really picked his game up since the second half against Minnetonka.
He looked very athletic there. So Stenstrom now out of gun. It's going to be a pitch play here to Tevitt around the left-hand side. Cuts up. Almost like a ISO toss. Tevitt. Big gain there. He's up to about 46-yard line. Nice little burst of speed from Tevitt as he found his lane and took it. Second down and 3 after the 7-yard gain from Brian Tevitt. Mounds again, working quickly, trips to the field side. Stenstrom out of gun. He's going to hand off here again to Tevitt on the left-hand side. Tevitt's going to get a couple yards up to about the 44.5-yard line. Down in 2 now for the Mustangs. Stenstrom in gun. Takes a 3-step drop. Looks to throw. He's got a wide open Lomax. First time to hit him at tight end. He's up to the 30-yard line. First and 10 for the Mustangs.
Wow, that was a fantastic throw. He's on the run a little bit. Throws off his back foot with 2 defenders right in his receiver's grill, it looked like from our perspective. That was just a perfect throw. This is probably his best start in terms of just throwing accurate throws. Best start all season. I'm really happy.
To the left hand, up here to Tevitt to the right. He makes a move. He's got Lomax right near him. And Tebet, a nice little gain again, up beyond the 35-yard line, giving the Mustangs not a whole lot of yardage left here for a first down. Second and 3 from the 23. Trips now again to Stenstrom's left. He's going to hand it off here on his own up the middle. Nice run there. Jaden Edwards gets the first down for the Mustangs, his second carry of the game.
I think that today's probably be this is just an early prediction. Hopefully I don't jinx anything, but I feel like this will be Mounds' best offensive game all season. Just like in terms of start, like yeah, we're not like having any like huge home run hits right now, but we're hitting every throw we need. We're making reasonable gains in the rushing game. I mean, I'm expecting a good game in offense.
Here's Edwards again, making some moves and getting up off that left edge. Just shy of the 13-yard line is Edwards. He's going to check out now, have it back in. 4 wide receivers on the field for the Mustangs. As Reed Thurston checks in, he's out wide to Stenstrom's right. Hoytia lined up on an island to the left. It's going to be a pitch here to Tebet. To the right, Tebet makes another move, makes a tackle, but he's going to be dropped for a loss. So a big play here. Be third down and 4 from the 12-yard line. We'll see what happens here after we get a break to switch sides. That is the end of the first quarter, where both teams exchange receiving touchdowns. It is Mounds View 7, Stillwater 7. We're live at Mustang Stadium at Mounds View High School.
Something I really love about the sport of football is just literally one play can literally change the entire positioning of a game. If you're like if you're a team that's like struggling, like Stillwater, I feel like Mounds View really dominated the entire game, other than that one play where they had that 80-yard touchdown. And despite that, it's a tie game just because one play dictated the entire game for Stillwater. Because other than that one play, like I said, they've been out of it, and it looks like Mounds is probably going to get some points on the board again this drive. So we really need to see that defense just, be more stout, especially in the secondary. That receiver was wide open. That was probably our worst defensive play all season. So we need to see that so we can make it in a position where it can be a blowout.
There will be a lot of people to see that if it is to happen. This stadium is absolutely packed for homecoming. The community, the Mounds View faithful, out in droves this evening to watch this juggernaut undefeated Mounds View football team take on a crosstown rival. And we are on the 12-yard line. A handoff here on 3rd and 4 is going to be stopped shy of the 10-yard line. That Brian Tebet. Interesting decision to come here now. 4th down for the Mustangs. Drew Lindgren checking in, number 43. So Mounds View knows what they want to do right away.
That's smart. I would really go for this just because Stillwater throughout the season hasn't really proven, or they haven't really proven to be able to stop offenses this year. Mounds View is one of the most talented teams they're playing the entire season, so the odds in our favor.
So we've got motion here. It's going to be quarterback sneak. Stenstrom gets loose. He's up to the 4-yard line. That's a first down. He almost scored on that sneak. I thought for a second they might go to Hoytia. He was on an island to the left. Doesn't look like he's got a huge height advantage, but Hoytia is a good player. They decided instead quarterback sneak. First down, good call, Mustangs. First down, balls fumbled. Stenstrom's going to have to make something out of nothing here. Boyd comes back and fumbles the ball again and again. It's kicked around. And exactly what we said Stillwater was going to need, they the turnover here. That play a disaster from the very get-go. A couple different times the ball was put on the carpet. It's going to be Stillwater football. It was first and goal Mustangs. It will now be first and 10 Stillwater, 10:54 remaining in the second quarter.
That was a tough break and a blessing at the same time. Just because, yeah, Mounds was about to score right there. But like what really kills teams is when they allow teams that struggle to get short field position, because although they got the turnover right there, they're starting the possession at the 10-yard line. So like unless we allow another 90-yard play, you shouldn't really expect Stillwater to really do much this drive unless they're like at the 10-yard line on the other side.
So first and 10 now for the Ponies. Going to get a handoff here and a nice run up to about the 13-yard line.
Up to about the 12-yard line.
Jake Day on the carry for the Ponies.
Be second down and 4 after the 6-yard gain from Day. Vency's going to hand it off again to Day. Be third and 1 now from the 13-yard line. Handoff here. There's a scrum. And the Ponies get a first down. It'll be first and 10 now from the 16-yard line. Venski now under center for the Ponies. He's going to throw deep here again. This one's got a lot of air underneath it. Radaba having a hard time keeping his feet. He leans into the receiver, and that is just too much contact. It's going to be a pass interference penalty on Jake Radaba.
What do you really expect him to do right there? I mean, he had his eyes on the football, right? He's like looking away before he even touches him. So by the time he knocks him over, the ball's already right there. So I don't really understand the foul. But wait, are they calling that? I'm confused.
Oh yeah, they're calling. It's just going to be a 10-yard penalty. It's not a spot foul like it is in the pros.
Yeah, that would be really detrimental for Mounds View.
Check that. It's a 15-yard penalty. It is pass interference. So that's going to give the Ponies another first down here from the 32-yard line. So twice now they've gone deep, and they've had success. Once an 80-yard touchdown, now a 15-yard penalty. And we're going to get a handoff here, and that's a big hole. Different running back this time for the Ponies. This number 20, Nick Schneider. Check that, Nick Schlender, a 5'7", 185-pound junior for the Ponies. Be first and 10 from the 43-yard line. Well, the Mustang coaches said all week, it doesn't matter what the records are. These two teams always battle. Stillwater always gives Mounds View a really tough game. And we're seeing that tonight here as Venski gives the handoff. This time it's Day up to the 49-yard line. An 8-yard gain for Day, and the Ponies are rolling.
I know people might be underestimating Shoreview just with the way they've struggled basically the last 2 seasons. But Mounds View really has to give them their A game just because there's a little more passion within rivalries, I feel like. There's a little more effort given. And not only that, like if you lose this game, that demoralizes the entire team. See, Mounds View just really has to remain stout and focused. And the nice thing about Mounds View is I never really feel like they're out of the game. So even if the Ponies somehow one up us and won the next couple drives, I never feel like Mounds View we're never one-upped, I guess. I think we're always in the game, and that we proved that last week against Minnetonka.
Quick dive here. Schlender takes the handoff up the middle and gets a first down. Now Stillwater looks like they're going to very quickly get set and signal the play call in. First and 10 from the 44.
They're trying to get the defense tired right here. A really suffocating Mounds defense. I've used that adjective quite often this year, but it's very true. Mounds has just been unbelievable on the defensive end. I think other than last week, we've been allowing only like 8 points a game this season, which is unbelievable.
Calling the speedster wide receiver out left. Davensky, who's under center, he's going to hand off here to Day around the left-hand side. That's snuffed out quickly by this Mustang defense. Looks like Kettlehut up from the safety position. Tackles Day after a 2-yard gain. Student sections back and forth with some cheers here. A lot of fun for them on homecoming. Vensky now under center once again. Ponies coming out of the I. Vensky's going to run a quarterback waggle. He's got a receiver open. Tackled immediately after the catch by Cisneros.
Oh my gosh.
That's number 38, Andrew Weber, for the Ponies.
I really want to know why Cole Sandel just jumped right there. He had an opportunity just to hit him and interfere with the pass. But other than that, he decides just to jump up, which I'm not a football player right now, but I personally wouldn't have done that. I would have just hit the quarterback in the mouth right there and let him miss the throw. Don't try to tip the pass and go for the home run. Just stop the play, and we can't go for those hero ball plays, or we're going to have a tough time against Stillwater.
So 6:40 here remaining in the first half. It's tied 7-7. Vensky for Stillwater under center. Again, out of the I. He hands it off here on an ISO play. Dunnigan wraps him up. Wraps up Day right away, but not before he gets 2 or 3 yards on the carry. Day gets a 2-yard gain. He's up to the 31-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8. Another short handoff here. This one tackled by Drew Lindgren right as he got the football. Day goes down. 3rd and 8 from the 31. No gain on that play.
Let's just stop him right there and try to get the momentum back.
So a little bit of a delay here as Stillwater decides what they want to do on 3rd and 8 from the 31-yard line. And they are uncertain enough that they're going to call their first timeout of this first half. So both teams now left with 2 timeouts as Stillwater decides what they're going to do here. 3rd and 8 from the 31 with 4:57 remaining in the first half.
Some inspiring highlights. In the Woodbury game, Antoine Vaz scored on a rushing touchdown while the defense was led by Jack Kelly against Minnetonka.
Hey Rob, how important do you think it is Mounds wins this game as the schedule gets a little more difficult late into the season?
Return for a touchdown.
I mean, I think it's critical. The next 2 teams that this Mustang team will face are Creighton-Durham Hall and Eastridge. So when you look at the second half of the season, you've got 2 bookend teams that you would expect this team could be able to beat. That would be Roseville, the last game of the regular season, and this Stillwater Pony team home on homecoming. You've got to win this game because they could be 8-0 if they can beat these 2 tough teams. Regardless, this team needs to go after a 4-0 start, 6-2 to get into a top seed in the playoffs.
I mean, if we start the season 5-0, Mounds has all the leverage in the world, and they have the flexibility to lose a tough game or two.
So third down here at 8. Vensky under center, got motion here. It's going to be handoff, and he's tackled immediately. Is Day. Brendan Dunnigan behind the line of scrimmage, like he knew what was coming. And that's going to bring a 4th down and 11 now for the Ponies. If they had a tough decision before, now what do you do? They're going to have to go for it here. Clock is running, 4:27 remaining in the half. Vensky under center, wide receiver Dunn out to his left. He's going to fake it. He's going to throw it deep. He's covered by Radaba, and that is just out of reach. Really a great throw there, just not able to execute at the end.
Ball's incomplete.
Something that is really surprising me about Stillwater is they have not been shy of throwing the deep ball in this game. I was not quite expecting
Mustang
that.
offense will take over
Especially
first and
because Mounds
10
this season
at
has
their
been
own
so great in terms
34-yard line.
on takeaways. So I think it's really good and humbling for Mounds to see a team that's willing to at least try to punch them in the mouth with a couple of detrimental big plays.
So with 4:08 here remaining in the second quarter, it's 7-7, and the Mounds Mustangs take over. They've got twins to the field side, and to Stenstrom's right. He changes the play at the line of scrimmage, and there is no running back home for the handoff. So 2 plays in a row, this Mustangs offense looks out of sync and out of character, quite frankly.
Sam Capapalo and Hudson Day.
That's at least the 3rd play where Stenstrom appears to have had to scramble only because the team is not aligned correctly or not executing the play as it's designed. So not a great sign here for the Mustangs. It'll be 2nd and 12 from the 32-yard line.
When you're playing a less talented football team, you don't want to make mistakes. That's the last thing you want to do, because that's the only way a team like Stillwater, just saying, that can really stay in the game.
Tebbett,
is when we're able to just give them opportunities just to bite us in the mouth, or bite us in the butt when it's completely unnecessary or unneeded.
Well, in a lot of ways, the only way these two teams are any different is their record.
Yep.
They're pretty equally skilled as it looks
Offense.
tonight.
Defense is definitely the difference. Stillwater's really struggled on the defensive end this year, while Mounds has been one of the best defensive teams in the state.
They haven't struggled tonight. They've really done a nice job against this Mustang offense.
Yeah.
3rd and 12 now from the 32. Stenstrom, a big drop. He can't find anyone open. He's going to scramble on the right-hand side, pulls the ball down, and he's going to be tackled for a loss.
Good coverage by the Ponies forces Stenstrom.
So great coverage there from the Ponies. 4th and 12.
1 yard on the play.
And the Mustangs are undoubtedly going to punt this football away to the Ponies with 2:20 remaining in the second quarter.
Timeout, Mounds.
Mounds calls their second timeout of the first half with 1:55 remaining. Fully expecting them to punt the ball to the Ponies. Likely tried to take as much time off the clock as possible prior to punting the football to leave the Ponies with as little a possibility as they can to get a lead here going into halftime. It is tied 7-7. 2 first quarter touchdowns through the air from these two teams. The first, Mustangs strike on a corner route to Mason Dean. A beautiful play put them up 7-0. And then on a 3rd and 10 pass play from the Ponies 20-yard line, they go 80 yards on a go route and tie this football game up 7-7. No scoring since then, as it's zeros in the second quarter for both these teams. Ponies send 2 players back deep to receive the punt. The Mustangs, out of a timeout, only send 10 personnel out onto the field. Yet another mental mistake from this Mustang team tonight. But they are ready to punt the football. This is Tate Lahr. A little bit of a rugby-style punt. Yep. It's going to take a bit of a Stillwater bounce. It's going to be down just shy of the 45-yard line.
Tate Lahr's punt is down
he's
at the 44-yard line.
He's got a quad
Stillwater
issue, which is why he's only playing punter today. So,
146 till halftime.
Yeah, that wasn't like, he's a little hurt, so that's why we're not really going to see him much tonight. So yeah.
So that punt took 9 seconds off the clock. Ponies will take over here on offense with 1:46 remaining in the first half. That's Vensky out of gun. He's going to hand off here, and that's a big hole for Day up to the 50-yard line. So just like that, the Ponies are threatening to get into Mustang territory. Plenty of time here.
Dunnigan and Rewald.
Especially given that the clock stops at every first down in high school. Vensky again out of the gun, and Stillwater is in hurry up. Twins to the boundary side. He's going to hand off to Day, and he's got room around that left-hand side. He's up beyond the first down marker is Day. First and 10 for the Ponies from about
to the 44-yard line.
44-yard line.
It's crazy because Mounds has only given up 7, but I feel like we've given up more. We've had like a lot of missed tackles, a lot of big plays that we shouldn't give up. It's just been sloppy defense by Mounds.
Pass play here, going to be tipped and almost picked off. That's Drew Lindgren. He has a nose for the football.
That would have been one heck of a catch.
He is always around that football, tipping it or picking it. That's how Lindgren rolls. 1:02 remaining here with that incompletion. The clock stops. 2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line.
Stillwater.
Hopefully we've made some changes to our audio and we're able to hear the call of the game. This is going to be another handoff today. He's going to be stopped there. Looks like A.J. Brown and A.J. Hunt in on the tackle.
Here, down under 30 seconds. Stillwater continues to go in with high at halftime. Second and 26 now for the Ponies. High snap, handoff today. That's going to do it for the first half. We are tied for Mounds High School with Stillwater Ponies on homecoming. It is 7-7, and we will see you in 20 minutes to bring you second